Welcome to the channel, guys. We are back again for another First Impression Friday, and today I'm going to be talking about two Parfums de Nicolai fragrances, Patchouli Intense and Baikal Leather. So stay tuned for that. And if you like first impressions, top 10 lists, fragrance reviews, and cologne comparisons, hit that subscribe button for more great content. So a little while ago, I actually did try a Parfums de Nicolai fragrance. I don't remember which one it was. I wasn't tremendously impressed. I didn't love it. I didn't think it was bad, but I didn't love it. But I hadn't heard a lot about this brand, so I actually picked up a couple different samples from Parfums de Nicolai, and I thought it would be great to do a first impression with two of these. Now, I do know that Patchouli Intense is one that I've actually heard a little bit about, so I do think this one's a little bit more popular. Never heard about Baikal Leather, but I do like leather fragrances, so thought it would be good to pick that one up. Anyways, let's get into this first impression. I'm going to start with Baikal Leather. Again, I don't know what to expect from it other than, presumably it's going to be leathery. But notes and names are often very, very deceiving. But we will see. So that is very light. Citrusy. There's almost something a little bit there that comes off to me a little bit soapy almost, but it has this very light, airy kind of citrusy vibe. Definitely getting, I think, a hint of something floral as well. I get only a touch of leather. Not a lot, but, it does remind me, it's not super soft suede-like ombre leather. It's a little bit more like a rough leather, although not, some leather is animalic. This is not at all, but it is a little bit of a rugged leather. But right up top, it's very citrusy, kind of floral, airy, fresh. There's another citrus fragrance I can't remember off the top of my head that it definitely does remind me of that fragrance, but it has a very light sort of floral citrusy vibe with just a hint of leather. The leather is definitely getting a little bit stronger, and it's more of like a strong base right now that everything's sitting on top of, and so that leather is definitely there, feeling it, but again, citrusy floral on top. I'm going to go to the Patchouli Intense, let this one dry down a little bit, see if that leather starts to sort of manifest a little bit more and what it do. But right now, Patchouli Intense. Obviously with this one, I'm expecting it to have a lot of patchouli in it, but we'll see. That definitely has a lot of patchouli, yeah, for sure. And it's not full on like hippie patchouli or skanky or anything like that, but it does have a little bit of that rugged raw patchouli. And especially if you smell patchouli just as a fragrance oil on its own, it does have that sort of rough kind of feel to it. And it is actually nice because here it's very prominent, but it's not overwhelming. And it's definitely not like a chocolatey patchouli. It's definitely that sort of rough, slightly skunky kind of patchouli. And I do pick up a little bit of spice. There's something a little bit, I feel like there's a little bit floral, a little bit sort of light touch of sweetness. And there is something there that's like slight freshness, but Patchouli Intense, the name is not deceiving in this case at all. Very, very, very patchouli dominant. But I have to admit, this is actually pretty good. And since it's the one I'd heard the most of, I actually was kind of expecting to be let down a little bit. But so far, this is actually really nice. There has to be something in there, like a light citrus or something, giving it a little bit of freshness. A little bit of that airy quality to go along with that rough, sort of rugged patchouli. But I'm going to go back to the Baikal Baikal? Baikal leather. See how it's developed. If it's developed a little bit over the last couple of minutes. So, I definitely do pick up the leather. It's a little bit more like an industrial feeling leather, where it's a very sort of slick feeling, like maybe like a leather bodysuit or something kind of feel. If you get the image that I'm talking about, not like a nice leather jacket, and not like not at all like a nice suede. This is definitely something more like that very sleek, almost industrial feeling leather. With, again, it does have a little bit of a fresh light top, but that's definitely toning down. I'd still say there's some kind of floral peeking out there. I mean, there's a bit of sweetness too. It's all right. It definitely is all right. It's one of these ones I think I would definitely have to see how it develops, to like fully develops, to get an idea of how it plays out. The leather note is okay. I do kind of like some fragrances that have that sort of really rough industrial leather. I know something like Royal Leather by Kilian has a very industrial type leather in the opening that's very aggressive. Now this is not nearly as aggressive as Royal Leather, but if you think about that sort of industrial feel that it has, that sort of maybe tanned and just put some chemical treatment on it, like slick kind of leather, this has something similar to that, but it's very toned down. It's not super aggressive. And unlike Royal Leather that has like oud in it, which makes it a very rugged fragrance, I feel, there is definitely a lot of things taking that away. So it has a slick but light feel to it. And so it's definitely a much lighter fragrance. Like even I think you could almost wear something like this in the spring. But interesting, not bad. But at least so far, I definitely think I prefer personally Patchouli Intense. Yeah, that's really nice. That is really, really nicely done patchouli. It's just, if you like something that is very patchouli forward and gives you a good feel of what that note feels like, especially as a raw ingredient, this is a pretty good vibe, I think, at least for a lot of the patchouli that I've smelled. And I do see why this is the one that I've heard the most about, even though I still haven't heard much from this brand. It has this very nice, light sort of spiciness, with this nice, not like hippie style, but a little bit rugged, rough, a little bit dank kind of patchouli. See, to me, it just kind of has character to it. It has a lot of body, I feel like. It says something, and it just has that image that is really nice to me in my head, that, you know, of a strong character wearing this one. Definitely very pleasant, and very agreeable, which is funny, actually, that I would consider this to be agreeable, because if you've ever smelt pure patchouli oil, I think a lot of people would find it, who even like patchouli notes in fragrances, would probably find it to be something that they're not huge fans of, because it is really sort of in your face. But I think this retains just enough of that sort of smell to really give you that patchouli feel without being so overbearingly in your face. And those spices that I'm getting in there, really, really nice touch to round it out. Man, this is nice. I will say that right now. So Patchouli Intense, I've only tried 3 of their fragrances, so I'm obviously not an expert on the brand. Patchouli Intense is a win, is an absolute win for me from this brand. Very, very nicely done. Very nice. Wow. It's simple, but it works. So, I mean, Patchouli Intense, I feel like this is one I could wear this. I mean, personally, I wear things anytime I want, usually, you know, whatever I'm sort of feeling. But this is one that fall, I think it'd be really nice for fall. I think it has enough power that you could wear it in winter. I could see wearing this definitely to work, even though it is less office friendly than a lot of fragrances. Like, it's not like a Bleu de Chanel kind of safe office fragrance, but it is something with a bit of formality to it. And I definitely think you could wear this to a formal occasion for sure. But man, the way that patchouli mixes with it, whatever that spice is that is giving it just that little nice touch of a little bit of a kick is really, really nice. Great fragrance in my opinion, at least off first impression. Just to round off with Baikal leather, you know, it's all right. Like I said, it does have a little bit of that sort of slick leather note that does somewhat come off like rubber. So I'm not a huge fan of it. It does smell decent enough, but like I said, this is not the kind of leather note that I'm really a huge fan of. It comes across a little bit rubbery at times, feeling that way. And it's not maybe as pronounced as I generally like for a fragrance with the name leather in it. That's not necessarily a prerequisite, but I guess one thing I was really looking for is a really nice, dominant, high-quality leather smell. Now, it didn't have to be like suede or whatever. It could be a rugged leather. But I think I just personally wanted something different. But altogether, I think if you want something that's like a light... This is like an easy day wear leather for me. Because it has something there that has this lightness, a little bit of that citrus volume, which gives it a bit of a freshness. And then underneath that, it has a very nice base of leather. So I do think it's worth checking out if you are looking for something that's a little bit of a lighter, fresher leather without being like super fresh. But again, Patchouli Intense, I'm just really, really enjoying that one. So pairing them together, maybe not the best idea because Patchouli Intense, in my opinion, is way better. But again, each their own. Everybody has their own tastes, and you may vastly prefer Baikal Leather to Patchouli Intense, or you might not even like Patchouli Intense at all. So, anyways, that's it for the review, the first impression, guys. I think I'm going to cut it there. Parfums de Nicolai, definitely a better second showing. I like that one quite a bit. The leather one, it's okay, but like I said, nothing that really blows me away. Have you tried anything from the brand, guys? Leave me a comment down below, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.